What are the roles and responsibilities of leaders? Okay, roles and responsibilities of leaders. We have these points which are given here. We understand what they are basically. Inspirational leadership. Uh, Normally, whatever are the roles and responsibilities of leadership in general, what we study, are applicable here, even in case of digital strategy also. The first one is the leadership should be inspirational. They should set an example and then lead the employees of the organization. Then we see that competitive edge. They should adopt that, or they should have a competitive edge over others. Then establish strategic direction. So they are the ones who have to lead the employees. So establish strategic direction. So we are talking very specifically in terms of digitalization. So digital strategy also it would be the same thing. Then influence external parties, example providers of finance. Okay. Um, then we see collaboration as part of wider ecosystem. They come together with the other competitors, business entities, and then they collaborate to form a bigger business. And then they should have a better judgment ability, better judgment, execution of the strategy, whatever is planned for them, and then build talent. The recruiter employees who possess the skill set. Okay, build talent, and then. What are the economics of digitization? There are nine models here. Let's look at the explanation for this one. The first one, transaction, says that a traditional approach where goods are sold. Transaction, the first model is where um, they use digitalization for sale of goods or services, whereby goods are sold from one party to another. That's the first one, transaction. The second one talks about capacity leasing. Capacity leasing says the organization has a form of resource such as now either machine time, asset availability, or human time, and supply such capacity to customers. So, what can we talk about a best example of capacity leasing? Any example? You think about and tell me. Can you quote some example where, such as machine time, asset availability, or human time, and supplies such capacity to customers? Certain assets can be borrowed and used. Of late, we see in certain areas furniture can be hired for some time, and then use it, and then after the purpose is done, they can return those things. So, certain assets or people with the abilities and all can be hired for a specific period of time. So, capacity leasing, that is. This can be connected through the internet computer, and we call that as capacity leasing. Then we have licensing. Licensing and is another traditional revenue source. Instead of making a product itself, the organization licenses its technology. Okay. Um, Licenses its technology, brand, or intangible assets to another organization for a defined period of time. Then the fourth one is subscription. So customers are attracted through subscription. We see that of late we have this subscription facility for so many internet sites. Then the facilities, you can withdraw the subscription at any given point of time, or you can choose for auto renewal. After a specific period of time, it gets renewed automatically, charging the amount to your bank account, things like that. Okay. Mm, Products or services are subscribed to and paid for in advance. This could be for a short or a long period of time. Then commission is through the services. The others also are referral programs. What we have, which says that you refer someone and then you can have a discount or a commission or something would be paid as against that. So revenue is earned through matching sellers to customers, for example, as well as selling its own products through its website. There's an example given. Amazon also allows third party retailers to market via the same platform for a fee. Okay, that is uh, and enabling others also to earn some revenue. Then we have advertising particularly for social media organizations, but not purely restricted to such businesses. Then we have trading, to trade their goods and services. So it is possible to identify circumstances where the demand supply market forces are producing a sale value which is mispriced. Then traders can use technology to identify opportunities to buy at a low price. Now, there are certain sites. Trivago is one thing which gives you comparative prices of all the hotel services. So there are certain. Policy Bazaar is another one which gives the prices on a comparative basis. So the customer has a choice to choose among those a list of suppliers and the prices which are available, and can choose the right price according to whatever is the requirement. Then donations act as philanthropy, can result in intangible benefits to the donors. Of late, we see that Wikipedia is also asking for um, some amount to be donated or given in charity, because they've been serving the customers or the readers for over a period of time. So certain sites also, certain services also expect that some amount of donation would be paid. And then subsidies are often found in public sector organizations, whereby subsidies are given to improve quality of services in areas which cannot be fully funded by traditional revenue model. So some kind of subsidies which are given, very generic in nature. You just have to remember what is the content there in that. Then there are the digital ecosystem. There are three key questions for each participant. What is the precise role of the participant? What is the reach of the participant? What is the key value the participant can deliver? So the model talks about what is the role of the participants, and then um, how well can they deliver their customers or services. They reach out to the customers. What value can they add to the customers? These are the questions which for each participant in the um, digital ecosystem, in the digital world also. These are the three things. Now everything is generic, which you have already learned about. Leadership, marketing strategies, all of them, they are applied here in case of digitalization or digital ecosystem. Then we have digital consumption. What are the drivers of drivers of digital strategy? Another key factor in being successful with digital strategy is the consumer. Business leaders must focus on three key areas. First one is drivers, second one is consumer wants, and third one keeping ahead. The first one talks about mobile and internet penetration. Mobile and internet penetration. Penetration, we understand that expanding their horizon, and then um, expanding their business. Okay, so The first one talks about how the way in which the mobile and internet got expanded, penetrated into the market. Um, and that decides about the strategies which have to be adopted. Now, the pace was quite rapid, and then we see that I mean, the digitalization took place quite rapidly, and many businesses. Of late, we see that in this crisis movement, everything is happening digitalization. Once upon a time, what um, um, were considered as conventional, the normal way of doing business now is happening over the internet. Um, like people used to find, I mean, get the entertainment by going visiting a theater or a cineplex and all. But now these big movies are also being released on the internet, isn't it? So what was earlier done conventional way, now we see that that is happening over the internet. And this is all because of the internet availability, accessibility, which has increased. So the first one talks about mobile and internet penetration. Then we see that the connected devices. Mm, Rarely we see people without a smartphone off late. The devices which are available, which are connected to the internet, are increasing at a very rapid pace. The traditional conventional device of having a phone wherein only um, calls are made is has changed it so drastically that now we see that even a person from a rural environment, a person from a low income class family, also we see that they have this access, maybe because of the data being available to the consumers. So we see that there are many data devices which are connected to the internet. Fine. Then we see that data analytics and the cloud. Um, because of people started depending on taking up the transactions digitally, buying and selling goods on the internet, and then e-commerce has increased rapidly. Then it gave a scope for people to understand what are the tastes and preferences, what are the requirements of the customers. Then it so happened that the digital marketing, digital analytics had come into picture, and then they have increased a lot, wherein they started analyzing what is the requirement of the customers, what are they, this based on the search words and all, they started understanding about these things. And then the um, um, this has resulted in for them to analyze it better, because the data was available through the internet. It was earlier it was morely the published information wherein it was taken for analysis. Now, because of the social media and other aspects, the data is available easily, which can be analyzed. So that's the point. Then we have the user interfaces. um, Many interfaces, user interfaces, what we call it as, with the help of computers interface, that is those things can be carried out, taken up the work very easily. So user interfaces, interfaces interacting with the machines and getting the work done, that is user interfaces. Some tasks which can be assigned to the computers, and then with the interaction with the computers, um, we see that even the computers understand the voice, they understand certain activities, and then they infer certain things, and then they help the human beings who are interacting with them with the solutions. Then we see global accessibility. It is accessible globally now. Um, it now, even if even illiterate person is also able to, we see that the domestic help what we have, they also carry a smartphone. They when we say what is your number, they don't even know what is the number of their phone, but still they know how to access it. So that accessibility has increased globally. um, why? Because maybe the prices of those devices have come down. They have an accessibility to that. They are able to purchase it and then use it. The devices also have become user friendly. Therefore, also many people started using this. So global accessibility is there because of various factors like increase in standard of living, increase in user friendliness. Mm, they understood the advantages of getting connected through the internet, easy reach out. All those things have helped in having a global accessibility. Then it has resulted in a increased urbanization. More and more people now have an are moving towards the urban areas, and then the urban population has increased because this the facility is helping them understand what are the job facilities which are available, the sources of income where there are available, and then people started moving from rural backgrounds to the urban area. So that resulted in increasing urbanization. Then we see what are the wants of the consumer want. The first one we talk about is contextualized interactions. Contextualized interactions. So the customer is able to, in this case, whatever the customer wants is able to customize it, present it to his her requirements. Um, that customization is helping to understand what the customer wants. Okay. um, the specific needs, customization is available. Earlier what was the standard thing which were available to the customers now can be made as customized and provided to the customers. So contextualized interactions. Okay. Seamless experience across channels. um, what do we mean by seamless experience across channels? Right, from at every given stage and step, that whatever is their requirement can be understood, the availability can be understood, the price the pricing of the products can be understood, the expectation of the customers can be understood, and accordingly the products can be delivered. So there is an endless experience which is available to the customers across various channels. Okay. So then anytime anywhere is another thing. We have this, that the access to the customers is available anytime anywhere. Okay. So um, what is the stock now? Let's say any e-commerce site, we even understand how many pieces are available in the warehouse. Those details are also displayed. Last one piece, last 10 pieces, or many pieces are available. Whatever is, such kind of information is also available. What is the availability? What facilities are there associated with that? All those things also can be understood anytime anywhere. So the details can be known. If the stock is out, if the customer wants to get it, the customer has also a feature of adding it to wish list. Now that helps the customer to uh, avail those features anytime, anywhere. Okay, then great service. So the services provided to the customers have increased because of so much of data which is available, and the customization is possible, and understanding the customers has improved, it has become better. So based on all those features, the customers can be provided great services. Then the customer can also have the self service done, that is he can also um, um, maybe he can place the order for himself. Um, one such thing is, because the complete details about the product are available, he need not physically travel to the place where the product is available and pick it out. He himself can. IKEA is the best example. IKEA allows you to do everything, that is you purchase you're from Chennai. There is a mall which has come in Mumbai and Hyderabad, called as IKEA Furniture. I do not know whether you're aware of it or not. This enables the customers to place the orders online. Physical store is also there. They can pick it up from the physical store as well. And they can only assemble that. So their guidelines are there, and they themselves can assemble that, they themselves can do that. Now it is not only with that, but many cases wherein they can have an idea about the product, the details are provided. There's one technology which we have looked into as 3D technology. So 3D technology gives the better picture about the product from three dimensions, and then the customer can understand about that and can place the order. He can provide those things for himself, take a decision about whether or not to have that product. So self service is also possible. He need not physically travel to the place and then take a decision about that. There is much transparency here. Transparency, how they are transacting, how the products are sold to the customers, what is the mode of payment. So these things enable that transparency to be there in the transaction. Okay. Then we see that peer review and advocacy. Peer review, we see that the products have a review which are given. I mean, the reviews also matter for everything. Of late, people started first looking at what are the reviews available for that product or service, and then take a decision accordingly. So review matters a lot, so that is available here, and that review is visible to all the customers. Then we see the next one is keeping ahead of customers' expectations. So, what are the expectations of the customers? The first one is design thinking. Experiential pilots, prototyping, brand automation. So we see that the customization has or the requirement of the customers, when it can be known through the through digitalization, then it helps them to even design them, taking into consideration those aspects for the customer. So design thinking can be taken up, as and when the customers require some other things, or they want some changes to be made to the product, then designing can be changed accordingly. So that is possible, because it is easy to find out what is the expectations from the customers, and then understanding the customers has become better than before. Fine. Then we have next one is experiential pilots. um, Having an experience about the response of the um, experiencing about the customer's response, and how do they react to that. So continuously the reaction of the customers can be monitored, and then understand what are the changes in the customers buying behavior, what are their expectations, do they want more features to be added to that. That can be understood, so they can experience what are the requirements of the customers. Then prototyping, what is prototyping? What do you understand by the mean word prototyping? Anyone, what is the meaning of prototyping? Experimenting, yes. Experimenting in case of here, what when we are looking at the customers, and then design thinking, when we're thinking about that, the changes are made to the design as per the requirement of the customer. That is what we understand here. So based on whatever are the requirements, the changes are made. So here, in case of digitalization, before the final product is delivered, um, yes, we can talk about the first product is released, um, not with all the standard model of the product is released, but uh, to give a scope for making some changes and then standardizing the product, because they are considering the requirements of the customers. Therefore, the product which is released is not standardized in terms of the features which it has. um, the product is released, and then understanding the customer's requirements, those things are taken into consideration, and then changes are made to that, and then the final product is standardized. So it's kind of an experimenting, and then the first product which is released, uh, depending on the responses received from the customers, then it is standardized, right? Then we have brand automation. um, they can also establish their brand um, through the digitalization. They can go for branding their products. So brand automation is the next one of what should be taken into consideration. So that's digital consumption. What are the drivers of digitalization, I mean, how changes take place, how to understand what is the customer's requirement, consumers wants are considered, taken into consideration through the digitalization automation, and then keeping ahead of what is required by the customers, and making accommodating those changes here. Then we have what are the digital metrics. What are the digital metrics? Need to focus on three different areas. The first one is the scale of operation. What is the number of transactions which take place? number of repeat customers or active usage, and then the engagement of the customers. That is example, net promoter score. So to keep a track of the customers and all. So what is the scale of operation, how many customers are they attracting, what are those things, is it talks about the scale of operation, how many of them come back, how to track that. So the minute any new site is visited, the site talks about either registering themselves with an email id or a phone number or some user id and password kind of thing, so they can understand how many of them come back again, and then to engage them to see that they keep coming back, there is a net promoter score. So maybe because of the previous transactions they are given some certain points, or some in future some delivery is exempted or some discount is availed or something like that, so keeping them engaged to be the customers of that particular product or service. Then the last topic what we have here is about digital culture. To create a good digital culture, focus should be on attracting and retaining digital talent, foster a digital culture, adapt leadership style, create a workforce with digital skills, how to become an employer of choice. So there's nothing to explain in this. This is a general generic topic, digital culture. So now this with this we end the content part of it, but then we still have to discuss the MCQs. So let's go to the MCQs. Do you remember which one was the last question which we've discussed the other day? Do you remember which one was the last one we've done that? I think mid-lag thing we've done, finished. 184 was done. 187, okay, done. 101 was also done, FM station. 187 is also done, I remember. 188. Okay, let's start from 188. Cimarron is a biotechnology company. It performs chemical analysis on millions of chemical compounds using sophisticated analytics software to predict and model the likely effects of each on the human body. At the end of a processing run based on one family of chemical compounds, the Cimarron software outputs details of only those compounds which it determines which it determines may be potential new drug discoveries. This determination uses a series of rules which can be rewritten by the software itself to locate those compounds with the highest potential. Discovery analysts then examine the output data using an application which allows them to see an augmented reality view of the human body with the relevant data items pinned to the appropriate part of the body. In this way, the analyst can more easily understand the findings of the software and can make a more recent decision whether to pass the potential drug discovery forward for further analysis. Analyze the above information and identify which one of the following techniques is employed in the application being used by Simran's discovery analysts. The question says that discovery analysts then examine the output using an application which allows them to see an augmented reality. Yes, visualization, data visualization is the case here. They are able to see the human body uh, and then take decision accordingly. So then that is called as data visualization. Is that clear? Fire Smoke is an environmental protection organization. It works with government bodies and commercial organizations to prevent and detect fire in countryside environments such as forests and woodland. Fire Smoke supplies smoke and heat sensors to its clients, which they seed often by dropping them from aircraft over a very wide area. These sensors collect data about their environment, which is uploaded to the internet. There, the data is aggregated with other data from multiple sources such as satellites and social media posts and subjected to powerful algorithms which identify anomalies likely to be indicative of fire. Firesmoke also provides clients and drones, autonomous aerial vehicles which fly above the area being controlled. The drones collect video and infrared data, which is added to the main data set. Smoke is easy to see but can be due to campfires or barbecues. The algorithm is able to filter out this noise and identify fires in their early stage. If it is sometimes necessary for fire smokes clients to engage government agencies or private organizations to fight fires. These subcontractors are provided with an app supplied by Fire Smoke, which overlays data points on video or live camera footage. This allows the user to see data such as temperature or particulate matter when viewing a large area from a plane or vehicle. This The video and data can be viewed on a laptop, smartphone, or headset. Analyze the above information and identify which of the following technologies are being used by Firesmoke. Select all that apply. All that apply. So as many as points which are suitable here, we need to take that into consideration. A is Internet of Things. What is augmented reality? Then you have big data analytics. Okay. Then cloud and mobile. B and C are not applicable. B and C are not applicable. What does it mean? The drones collect videos and infrared which is added to the main data set. Okay, smoke is easy to see but can be due to campfires or barbecues. Algorithm is able to filter out this noise and identify fires in the early stages. Now, with the help of drone technology, they are able to have a better experience. That is augmented reality. Having a better experience is augmented reality, enhance their experience. Um, can we go with virtual reality? Can we go with virtual reality? I think another 10 questions are there. Let's see what are the elements of digital strategy. 190. Material is an online retail platform specializing in business to business supplies and services. The Material platform allows business buyers to buy together to increase their bargaining power. Business sellers then bid to satisfy the aggregated order. Material takes a fee of 1% of each transaction. According to the Digital Transformation of Industries Initiative of the World Economic Forum, there are 9 revenue models available to disruptors. Analyze the above information and identify which one of these models is being pursued by Material. We have 9 models. We just have a look at what are the 9 models here. So which one of them, the following is the correct answer? 190. Okay. Material platform allows business buyers to join together to increasing their bargaining power. Business sellers then bid to satisfy the aggregated order. Material takes a fees of 1% of each transaction. Licensing is the case. Then 191. Ebong is a wholesaler of business commodities such as metals, plastics, and basic components. In this traditionally low margin business, Ebong has managed to make significant profits using sophisticated data analytic software. Ebong can buy commodities when they are relatively cheap and easily to obtain, then sell them when demand exceeds supply. Very little of Ebong's inventory ever reaches them as it is delivered straight from their supplier to their customer. According to the Digital Transformation of Industries initiative of the World Economic Forum, there are 9 revenue models available to disruptors. Analyze these, analyze the above information and identify which one of these models is being pursued by Ebong. Can you see that? Under trading, we see it is possible to identify circumstances when the demand supply market forces are producing a sale value which is mispriced. Traders can use technology to identify opportunities to buy at a low price. So, D is the answer. Matching about the demand and supply thing taken into consideration, we call that as trading. So, we go with the answer D. Then we have 192, question number 192. Bowie is a multinational engineering company. It was formed in 1953 and became a world leader in the manufacture of business automation equipment, which in those days was mainly conveyor systems and production machinery. In the 1980s, Bowie moved gradually into production robotics. By 2010, Bowie was struggling. Other manufacturers had improved their products, and those based in low wage economies were able to undercut Bowie on price. In 2011, Bowie launched its industrial internet initiative to move towards an outcomes based business model focused on big data and analytics. Digitally enabled and outcomes based approaches helped Bowie generate more than $800 million in incremental income in 2013. In 2015, Bowie made the next step with dramatic changes to its strategy and operations with the creation of Bowie Digital. This move has helped Bowie bring together all the digital capabilities from across the company into one organization with the bold ambition to grow software and analytics enterprise from 6 million in 15 to become a top 10 software company by 2020. Research at the World Economic Forum on digital transformation of industries suggests that the companies need to adopt one of um, or a combination of build, buy, partner, invest, and incubate or accelerate if they wish to identify, develop, and launch new business ventures. Identify which one of these is being pursued by Bowie. B. Build. In 11, they launched it, and then B is the answer. Digitally enabled, then in 15, they made a next move, and with dramatic changes to its strategy and operation with the creation of Bowie Digital. Then, in with the bold ambition to grow software and analytics enterprise from 6 million in 2015 to become one among the top 10 software companies by 2020. So step by step, so they're thinking about building the organization. So um, build is the answer. Then we see the next question, 193. Crosby is a vineyard in southern England. It grows three varieties of grape on a site of several hectares. When the grapes are ripe, Crosby employs casual labor to pick them. The grapes are then taken to a local town where they are pressed into grape juice by Nash. Nash receives a few from Crosby for this work. The grape juice is then sent by road tanker to a winery about 50 kilometers away. The winery is owned by the Stills Group, a national producer of wine, beer, and cider. There, Crosby grape juice is turned into wine by fermentation, filtering, and bottling. This process takes several months, and Crosby pays two fees to Stills. One when the grape juice goes into fermentation, and a further one to release the bottled wine from storage. This later uh, fees fee varies according to the alcohol content of the wine, as stills must pay excise duty tax to the government, which is assessed on the basis of alcohol by volume. When the wine is bottled, it is returned to Crosby. Crosby then stores the wine, decides when it is ready for consumption, and offers it for sale to wine brokers or retailers. As the above relationship between Crosby, Nash, and Stills have developed over many years, Crosby is now able to sell its wine at quite a high price. However, Crosby also has a considerable sum tied up in inventory. Crosby has approached Nash and Stills to propose a new business model. A new company will be formed, owned 50% by Crosby and 25% each by Nash and Stills. CS and N will in future buy grapes from Crosby and other local vineyards. It will hold all the inventory at each stage of the process and will sell the finished wine. Such a big question. Nash will press the grapes at no cost to CS and N. Stills will turn the resulting juice into wine, again free of charge. Crosby will sell the wine. Any profits made by CS and N will be shared by its owners. Analyze the above information and identify which one of the following methods Crosby is planning to use to change the way its ecosystem operates. Crosby Crosby's a vineyard, and then they are into um, extracting grape juice and using it. So that's the nature of the business is all mentioned there. Okay. Um, the last paragraph, let's look into that. Crosby has approached Nash and Stills to propose a new business model. A new company will be formed, owned 50% by Crosby and 25% each by Nash and Stills. CS and N will in future buy grapes from Crosby and other local vineyards. It will hold all the inventory at each stage of the process and will sell the finished wine. Nash will press the grapes at no cost to CS and N. Stills will turn the resulting juice into wine, again free of charge. Crosby will sell the wine. Any profits made by CS and N will be shared by its owners. Are they planning to start a new entity? Are they planning to start a new entity? Yes. So we can rule out licensing and franchising, so that the C and D are ruled out. So a decision has to be made between A and B. It is not a question of licensing. It is not a question of giving franchises or franchising. So we only have to choose between A and B. The difference between A and B, joint venture and strategic alliances, if a new venture is if a new entity is started by coming together of two or more entities, we call it as a joint venture. Otherwise, they do not form a new business, new entity is not started, but they, in their capacities, they operate jointly to run a business, but there is no entity which is established, is strategic alliance. So we have to choose between joint venture and strategic alliance. Which one is it? Very clearly, it is given that there will be a new entity which will be formed. A is the answer. There is a new entity which will be formed as CSN. Okay, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. So a new entity is formed and they have decided on the terms and conditions. So we have to go with joint venture as the answer. One 94. Jimmy James is CEO of Bestie Group, a major distributor of frozen and chilled foods. Mr. James is preparing a presentation on the digital revolution, which he plans to deliver to the board of Besties when it next meets. He is a little unsure of the difference between technology drivers and changing needs. He has asked you for your help. Which of the following are technology trends driving the digital revolution as mentioned by Mr. James? Select all that apply. A, B, connected devices, global accessibility, mobile and internet penetration. Check the list and then okay. So we go with A, B, and E. 195. 195 says The board of Sleaford, a large financial services group, is having a strategy away day. In this morning's brainstorming session, the board developed the following list of digital trends. This afternoon, the board needs to make sense of them and distinguish between those that are driving digitalization in their industry and those that are being developed as a response to those drivers. The list is, there are 5 points given. Which of the factors identified are trends driving the digital revolution? Select all that apply. So the points are: users searching for insurance products like to see feedback from other customers. Banks are making extensive use of big data analytics and cloud storage. Credit card customers seem to invest time and energy into finding exactly the right product for them. For online banking products from Sleaford's rivals allow users to speak to their banking apps using normal speech. In its African and Asian markets, Sleaford um, notices more customers moving from rural to urban locations. Select all that applies. So you say B, C, and D. E, increasing urbanization. Yes. Let's check that. Users searching for insurance products like to see feedback from other customers. Banks are making extensive use of big data analytics and cloud storage. Um, Credit card customers seem to invest time and energy to find exactly um, the right product for them. Online banking products from Sleaford's rivals allow users to speak to their banking apps using normal speech. In its African and Asian markets, they are moving from rural to urban locations. So urbanization is 1 point. Data analytics and the cloud is also 1 point. Then interfaces is also because they are allowing their users to speak to the banking apps. So user interfaces. How about A and C? A and C. Peer review and self-service. Self-service point is not mentioned here. Okay. Should we go with A and C? Why not? Why not? Answer me. Why not A and C? Why should we not choose A and C? Some of you have answered for C also, I think. So why C? Why A? Which of the factors identified are trends? We see self-service, we see reviews also, but they are under what is the expectation. Um, See, we see what the customers expect, consumers want. Under that, we see self-service and peer reviews are also there. They are the expectations of the consumers, not the drivers or the factors of digitalization. That's how we differentiate them. Am I clear? We're talking about factors or drivers of digitalization, and then these are the requirements of the con- uh, consumers or customers. After that, 196. Racing Green is a fashion brand supplying fashion sportswear to multiples and independent retailers. Racing Green also has a sophisticated e-commerce platform using a personal shopper bot to advise customers based on previous purchases and fashion trends. As part of its new strategy, Racing Green will fundamentally change the way its garments are produced for online customers. The personal shopper bot will be allowed to recommend combinations of garment size and color that Racing Green's manufacturing system is capable of making, but which has never been made before. Customers will also be able to control logo size and placement, though they will not be able to specify garments without the company logo. This will allow online customers to buy garments that are unique to them and fit with their preferred style and color palette. Analyze the above information and select which one of the following is being used by Racing Green. What if I'm not responding to any one of them? Just select one. Which one of it is correct? A, design thinking. Are they taking up the ideas from the customers to finalize on the style and then? Yes, A is the right answer. See, Racing Green will fundamentally change the way its garments are produced for online customers. The personal shopper bot will be allowed to recommend combinations of garment size and color, and which have never been made before. Customers will be able to control logo size and placement. So customization is there. So that is the bot will enable them to think about how to design and also that is about design thinking. Right. So A is the right answer. Chick is an online dating site. Users complete a registration process, pay a monthly fee, and create a profile with photographs. After the profile is approved by Chick, a user can search the profiles of other registered users. Having been operational for 12 months, the management team of Chick has decided that it is time to start setting performance targets to monitor the growth of the business. Digital traction is a combination of metrics in three areas: scale, active usage, and engagement. Align the following by matching each type of metric with the relevant measure for check. Scale. Scale is, maybe I'll put the slide, you will understand it. Scale is the number of registered users. B is B is 2, yes, B is 2, the number of repeated users, and the score of the customers is the score of the customers is considered. Engagement is the number of likes and messages is C1. Stereo Lab is a music streaming site. So in another four questions, I think four or three questions are there. That will end what we are doing. So tomorrow's class, I will take you through the PPT because it's there, the time is there, and then I'll take you through the PPT. And if you have any doubts, you stop me there and then get your doubts clarified. The entire exam kit I have discussed in the class. 11:30 only. I think I took one day extra 3 hours slot. I should. I didn't realize you people were trying to tell me also. Somehow I didn't realize that I have. I have. I mean, I took the classes on 7 working days for 3 hours. I in fact I was supposed to take only 6 days, 3 hours. Today's class is till 11:30 only. Some of you were trying to hint me, but I was blinded at that time. I didn't realize. Then I was recording in my there's some kind of a module I have to record there. While recording it, I realized that I took the classes on 7 days instead of taking it on 6 days for three hours. It's okay, no problem. It's over. Um, so the point is, you also have come up with something else, some case study thing. Case study evaluation is completely different. I think slots will be arranged for you to go through this case study analysis. So that's a different section, the evaluation, because it's only one case for a period of 4 hours, I guess. So during that time, how should you answer? What are the skills which are needed? So that is on completely a different note. We cannot discuss that case here in these 40 hours training session. So that is not possible. As far as my knowledge goes, you will have another slot of training to deal with how to do the case studies. So that one lengthy case which runs through so many pages, how do we read that, how do we understand, how do we mark them, what are the tasks which have to be completed, all that will be taught to you. Otherwise it is not possible. In a session of 2 hours it is absolutely not possible for me to cover anything about it. So we will not touch that the material which you were talking about, pre-seen material and all. So the one which we have done here, another 4 questions are there and we are through with that. So the one which we have done with that is Kaplan material. If you have someone pursuing CIMA and they have some other material which is available, more or less a 70 to 80% of the questions on any material would be the same. Still, if you get an access to any other material, please have a copy of that and then work it out. I will somebody please give your mail ID here in the uh, chat box, and then I'll post this PPT and this um, exam practice kit to your mail. If you have a group mail ID, put it there. I'll send these two things to your mail ID. Tomorrow we'll just go through the PPT and understand. Okay, that's a group mail ID. Okay. So today I'll send these two things. So tomorrow, be prepared to clarify all those doubts, whatever you have. We can go through those doubts and then wind up the class tomorrow. Is that fine? And great emphasis is there on uh, working out the questions from practice sessions and then exam kits and all. So this is the material anyway you will have. Don't think that you've already worked it out. It was mostly a combined effort. All of us together were trying to figure out what the answer was. It was not individual. None of you have done it individually. um, so for that reason, you do restart once again. You yourself start with that, sit with that, and then figure it out how to arrive at the answer. And after that, maybe topic wise, each set of questions under each topic, take it up and then keep answering those questions and then proceed further. Master it this exam kit, and then if some other material also master it and understand what are the topics which are given there. So you should crack it the first time. No going for re-exam at all. Okay, extensively we've done all the topics and the questions, so you should be able to clear the exam the first time. Right? 198. Stereolab is a music streaming site. It allows users on payment of a small monthly subscription of $10 to stream any pieces of music they choose from the hundreds of thousands available. Users cannot download the music, so they must have internet connectivity to use the service. In the first 3 months, 90 days of this financial year, Stereolab produced the following performance data. At the beginning of the period, Stereolab had 1.35 million registered users, of whom 1.28 million had an active subscription, so were allowed to actually stream music. By the end of the period, this had grown to 1.44 million who were registered, and 1.38 million of those were active and paid up. The total marketing spend for the period was 32 million. A typical subscriber remains active for 5 years. Analyze the above information and select which of the following statements are true for Stereolab. Select all that apply. The average cost to acquire a customer was about $22 for the period. Growth in registrations was approximately 2.2% per month. The months to recover CAC is about 36. Active usage was 95.8% at the end of the period. The LTV CAC ratio is about 27.3 times. We have to do the numericals there. Um, Cost to acquire a customer was about 22 for the period. So, how do we calculate cost to customer? Cost to acquire a customer. How much cost did they spend? The total marketing spend for the period was 32 million. So, they have spent 32 million. So, CAC is equal to 32 million divided by for how many new customers were added to their list. So, this is $32 million divided by how many million customers were attracted. Just check that one. At the beginning of the period, they had 1.35 million registered users, of whom 1.28 million had an active subscription. By the end of the period, this had grown to 1.44 million. So, what is the increase in the number of customers? 1.35 to 1.44 is um, 0.09 million. So, take this as 0.09 million customers have increased. So, what is the cost to acquire a customer? Per customer, what is the cost? To check that one. How much is it coming up to? 32 divided by 0.09. It gives us 355.5555. So the answer given here is $22 for the period cost to acquire a customer. So A will be ruled out. So in on that case, A will be ruled out. Then come to B. Growth in registrations was approximately 2.2 million. Is that so? Growth in registration is approximately 2.2 million. What happened? Nobody is doing the calculations. Growth in registrations. How many registrations? The period was for a period of 3 months, isn't it? For a period of 3 months. So at the beginning of the period, they had 1.35 million registered users, and by the end of the period, by the end of 3 months, it was 1.44. So just check it out. How much is the difference? What is the growth rate? So 1.35 and 1.44. So the difference is 0.09. 0.09 is the difference in the number of registered users. At the beginning of the period, it was 1.35. So 1.35, if it is 1 point, yeah, B is correct. B 1.35, if it is 100%, 0.09 is what percentage? So that we calculate and then we arrive at the value as um, that should be taken for a period of 3 months. So we arrive at a value of 0.09, 0.09 divided by 1.35. Then multiply that into 3. So approximately we get a value of 2% per month. Then the third one talks about the months to recover cost to acquire a customer is about 36 months. Does it take 36 months to recover the cost? We got the cost as some 356 something is there. So if it is 356 for the customers, then cost to acquire a customer, how many months will it require for them to recover that? Because they are using a subscription of only 10 months. 356 something is the answer. 32 divided by 0.09. So if it is roughly, let's do the calculation. If we have 356 divided by point, I'm really sorry. If we have 32 divided by 0.09, then we have it as 356. So if it is 356.6 or 355.66, so this is 356 roughly. So they will require 335.6 months because the subscription is only $10. So this is also correct. Then active usage was 95.8% at the end of the period. Check that active usage part of it and then do the calculation. Active usage at the end of the period. So 1.44 million are registered users, out of which the active users are 1.38. So check that percentage also. So this is 95. 1.38 divided by 1.44 gives us this one. Then the last one, the CAC ratio is about 27.3 times. We've only three more questions. Only 10 minutes time is there. Quickly answer whatever applies, and then we can wind up the class. Hirola is a disruptor in the leisure travel sector. It is, in effect, an online travel agent. However, Hirola works in a completely different way from its rivals. Hirola uses big data analytics to examine the historic social media posts and other data of its users who pay a very small annual subscription to Hirola. On the basis of this analysis, the Hirola app presents users with completely unique travel packages based on their previous holidays and reviews of them. Hirola does not have any travel products of its own but combines those already offered by airlines, hotels, and car hire companies and other travel firms. The Hirola app simply asks for a user for their chosen holiday dates, then delivers a top 5 available packages, each precisely tailored to the user's preferences. If the user selects and purchases one of the holiday packages offered, Hirola takes the user's payment and buys all of the components of the holiday package from the providers. Hirola takes a very small commission from each service provider, but as Hirola has very few staff and extremely low operating costs, it is very profitable in this highly competitive industry. The consultancy group Accenture wrote a report in 2015 called Accenture Technology Vision. This report highlighted five emerging trends which were shaping the digital landscape for organizations on which business leaders should focus when developing digital strategies. Analyze the above description and identify which one of the trends Hirola seems to be exploiting. Is it the learning organization? What are they uh, up to? With the help of an app, um, they are providing certain information to the customers. The app simply asks a user for their chosen holiday dates and then delivers a top five available packages, each precisely tailored to the user's preferences. So they are using the is it it's not a learning organization, the thinking company, the platform revolution, but it was the thinking enterprise. This one is a thinking enterprise. Then 200 is Glue Inc. is an online credit card provider operating under the tagline "Stick with us." Unfortunately, while Glue's customers are very loyal, its staff are not. In the past 5 years, Glue has lost nearly 20% of its employees. Apparently, the young millennials employed by Glue are not finding employment with the company as engaging as the senior management team hoped. Most of the senior staff at Glue are over 40, and the HR director is 46. He has asked for your help to address the critical issue of staff turnover. According to the World Economic Forum, which of the following should enable Glue to become an employer of choice for millennials? Select all that applies. The issue is the staff turnover. They are leaving. The millennials are leaving, but the aged ones are still there in, and they are there in the top position. So in the top management, senior staff. So what strategy should they adopt? So what are the things which can um, incorporate it into their policy so that the millennials do not leave? So we can go with A, work with staff to create values. Increase salaries is not a solution because someone else increases the salary, they may again change the job. Okay, empower the workforce is right. Formulate a long term working strategy is also right. Okay, create policies that provide a safe space to work alone. Working alone is not the solution because you have to work in teams. So A, C and D would be the right ones. And the last question: Pitch runs a social media site where users who pay a small monthly subscription can post business ideas. Users can like each other's ideas. These ideas can be viewed by business angels, private equity investors who decide whether or not to make an investment in the user's business. Pitch earns a commission from each deal brokered by the site. Analyze the above information. Select which of the following metrics could be used by pitch to monitor engagement. Select all that apply. 199 question number. So they are approaching private equity investors who come forward to invest in the business. Um, so here it says that they run a social media site where users who pay a small monthly subscription can post business ideas. Users can like each other's ideas. That is the concept here. These ideas can be viewed by business angels, private equity investors, and then they decide whether it should be invested in the business or not. That is the scenario here. So here in this case, analyze the above information and select which of the following metrics could be used by which to monitor engagement. Select all that apply. So the first one talks about average number of business ideas per users, so that can be considered to engage or see that they are retained there in the business. So for the engagement purpose, average number of business ideas per user, the number of business angels visiting, that is not the issue here. The number of investors coming forward is not the criteria. It is about the ideas which are contributed by the subscribers. The percentage of business angels who make a second deal is also not the criteria. So the average number of likes posted per user is this case. The average number of business angels expressing an interest in who would come forward and invest in their business. So we go with A, D, and E. With this, we finish the sector one, 201 questions in this exam kit. Maybe one or two we must have missed somewhere. Since the exam kit will be with you, you yourselves can go through that one. So maybe after a while, I will send it to this mail, cimabatch3@gmail.com, and then we can look into that. Tomorrow I will take you through the PPT, and then any topic which you feel that you are little not clear about, that you can get it clarified in tomorrow's class. Okay, hope that is clear in today's class. Okay, then let's end the class here. Tomorrow would be the last day for this session. So anything you want me to clarify, clear, explain anything. So tomorrow would be the case. We are not looking at pre-seen material what you have sent, because that cannot be done in a day of one or two. There is a way in which those cases are dealt. Maybe some other time when this is allotted to you, then we will have to look into that one. Fine. Good day and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the last class.